Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Oh my gosh, we are live. Happy Tuesday. This is Run It Back. Michelle, Chandler, George is back. You seem short today. It's interesting. And Lou Will.
Sure, how you doing down there?
Yeah, why are you... Is there something wrong with your chair?
Slouching.
Yeah, you are slouching. Lou Will be in studio tomorrow. Oh my God, it's gonna be a packed house from here on out, which I'm so excited about. I'm also excited that we finally have a game. We have a game tonight.
Love it.
We suffered a whole day without one, and here we are. The Western Conference Finals begin. Minnesota, OKC. They've split the series 2-2, although that really hasn't bode well in predicting any of this stuff. They're in OKC tonight. Game 7 just happened for Oklahoma City, although you wouldn't know it. They didn't seem that way. But I'm wondering, on the T-Wolves side, Chandler, they're coming in well-rested. Give me some keys.
Yeah, I think at this point in the series, first of all, I think the rest helps. I think anytime you have guys that are banged up a little bit with bumps and bruises, not severe injuries, anytime you have the time off, I don't think there's going to be a rust factor. Like we worried about OKC with the beginning of the playoffs. They already went through an 82-game series. They already went through 2 series. I think this helps them. Their offense has to be efficient. I think you know what you're going to get from Anthony Edwards. I think Julius Randle is key here. He's got to equalize Jalen Williams. He's got to continue to do what he's done in the previous series, being that legit second option. And the Thunder's defense is unbelievable. They're stifling. They switch everything. They get after you. They force a lot of turnovers. So the Timberwolves, they have to take care of the ball. They have to be efficient because Oklahoma City's defense is next level.
I don't know about this. The time off sometimes scares me, George. In any sport, it gets a little weird.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. But, you know, obviously guys like Mike Conley are going to be huge in this series, and he's probably Chandler's age, right?
He's older.
He's but he's been playing phenomenal. He's going to need to have another good series. But like, think of what Chandler said. Those turnovers, they cannot happen for Minnesota, because if they do, OKC turns those into dunks, three-pointers. And I'd be one to tell you when it gets crazy down in that arena down in Oklahoma. So it gets loud, they're yelling, they're beating that horn. They have like,
shirts.
Is that the bison that's like running around as their mascot?
Nobody
I'm
knows.
like, dude, get out of my face, man.
Nobody,
is that what that is?
Nobody knows.
Nobody. It's not for
Buffalo,
us to know.
maybe? I don't know.
Maybe a buffalo? I don't know, Lou. What do you got for us?
I think they're going to be ready to play. I think at this point in the playoffs, especially if your team is healthy, a break is a good thing. I think the rest is a good thing for them. And usually when a team has this type of time off, it affects them for about a quarter or two. You know, sometimes if the whole game, they might drop their other game. Other than that, this is going to be something that they're going to need to go through a long series. We expect this one to go, you know, at least 6 or 7 games with these guys, with how talented both teams are. But I think the rest is good for them. They got to be efficient. And like George just mentioned, they got to keep the turnovers down.
We're obviously going to talk a lot of SGA, and a lot of focus will be on those 2 players. But Julius Randle, if you haven't been paying attention, is having himself a time at the moment. George, as far as importance goes, how important is Julius Randle's role going to be in this one?
Oh, he's the key. You know, I think he's going to have to be a facilitator, a scorer, and then obviously what he was doing on the defensive end for the last couple series, he's going to have to be that. I think for him is, I'm not so sure Oklahoma City really has a matchup for them, but Oklahoma City's defensive scheme is they're taking away the paint. So if he can facilitate and get other guys going along with getting himself going, I think it's going to be a real good series for Minnesota.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. Who are they going to put on him? Are they going to put Chet on him and give him some length? Are they going to put Hartenstein on him to kind of, you know, equalize that physicality and the toughness Julius brings? So he presents, I think, the biggest challenge to this team. Got to imagine McDaniels is going to start on Ant, kind of use that length on him, switch some things. You can probably start Mike Conley on Lou Dort, kind of two spot-up guys, but it's going to be interesting right off the bat who Julius Randle is matched up with, because either way it's going to cause a problem. I think he's too much of a guard, too talented for Hartenstein, and he's too physical for Chet. So if he's good, he's shooting over 40+% from the 3, he's getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, that's going to favor the Timberwolves greatly.
You agree, Lou?
Yeah, gotta agree. He's gonna be one of the more important players. I think this is a series where the star power is gonna be important. You want your main guys to be the guys that step up. Obviously, they both have proven benches. They both are gonna get good production from their benches. But this is gonna be a star powered series on both ends of it, and Julius Randle is going to be one of those guys that's going to have to be essential. He's just got to be consistent. He doesn't have to be out of body. He doesn't have to do anything extraordinary. He just got to be himself, got to be consistent, got to be efficient with the basketball. play with a lot of force, and I think he'll give them a great opportunity to compete.
Let's talk about role players for a second. That's been the separation factor, I think, for the good teams versus teams that are no longer with us. And you've got some good ones on both sides of this equation. Lou, I'll start with you on this one. If you had to compare the two, give somebody the A, give somebody the B, who gets the better role player situation?
You got to give it to Minnesota, right? They're the only team with a former Sixth Man of the Year. And Naz Reid is one of those guys who can come in and he can put 20 on the board. And he also can guard a lot of different positions on the defensive end. He's going to be that X factor. The rest of those guys are still trying to find their way into the league and figure out consistently who are they, what are their identities. Naz Reid has figured his out already. Like he's the one guy that you can throw into the starting lineup and still keep moving. Some of these other guys, you're not really sure about that. So Naz Reid, for me, he's gonna be the guy that's gonna set this thing apart. Whether they're gonna be able to equalize him, take him out of this series, or he's gonna be a big part of it for Minnesota.
See, spoken like a true six man, right there.
Yeah, Minnesota. And listen, Minnesota, they only go 8 deep, right? They play Alexander Walker, they play Naz Reid, and they play Donte DiVincenzo off the bench. And all three of those guys can play. They can affect the ball, the game on both sides of the ball. They can shoot it. OKC is the deepest team in the NBA. They get 5, 6, 7 guys deep off the bench. Everyone knows their role. Everyone defends. They come in off their bench and they get better defensively. So I think OKC has the deepest team, but those 3 guys on the Minnesota are important. They can all come in. They can shoot. And the problem with Minnesota is when they go to that great small ball lineup with Naz Reid, Oklahoma City can do the same thing. They can move Chet to the 5. They can stay big. How's Rudy Gobert going to impact this? Is he going to be able, when they go small, is he going to be able to do what he did against the Lakers and go 2001 Shaq like he did in that one game? He's going to be really important too. So I think that is the difference when Minnesota does what they do best and they go small. Oklahoma City can do that just as well.
Yeah, it seems like Mark Dagnall's pulling people out of the stands when he goes into his bench. That bench is so deep. You talk about OKC, sometimes they play 10, 11 guys in the playoffs. Like, you look at what Jalen Williams did, and I'm talking about the other Jalen Williams, the center Jalen Williams, when he came in and had his impact against Jokic at home in that series. They just have so many guys that they can go to, and they all know their role and are all dialed into winning. Like, you saw Aaron Wiggins there. Like, who's to say that he doesn't have a breakout game? It just always seems that it's either Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace. It's always someone. Where Minnesota, yes, they have bigger names like Naz Reid, Donte DiVincenzo, Nickeil Walker-Alexander.
Close.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that it? Did I get that right?
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth over there in OKC.
The matchup, Lou, because when you talk about finals every year, people get mad if the superstars or the big markets aren't in it. I feel like if I'm the league, I am so stoked to have SGA and Ant in this first. It's the future, it's the present, however it is you want to label it. Do you think that they are beyond thrilled that this is the matchup we're getting?
Oh, yeah, this is it. This is it. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited about this matchup. I love the styles. I think there are a lot of similarities on both sides. When you talk about toughness, both of these teams have it. You talk about depth, both of these teams have it. They got star power. And then it starts with these 2 dudes. These 2 dudes are by far the 2 best players in this thing. Like, there's no confusion with that. That head-to-head matchup is going to be interesting to me. I'm curious to see who they guard. I've known in the past, Ant-Man has always been the guy to say, I want that marquee matchup. I want to guard these teams' best players. I want to see if he's going to do that in this series. I want to see who SGA is going to guard. Which one of these guys are going to set themselves apart from the pack of all of these young stars that we've had in the league. And again, this is a year for one of our new young superstars. Somebody's going to get their first ring this year. This is going to be their first crack at it in this head-to-head matchup. It's going to swing either way it go. For me, I love SGA. I love Ant-Man. I'm not going to have a dog in this fight when it comes to these 2 guys, but I love the matchup. I love that we have the star power, and I'm curious to see who guards who.
Yeah, and I think if Anthony Edwards will spend some time on him. I think that's just naturally
in the
happen
fourth quarter.
Throughout the game. But Jaden McDaniels has to start on SGA. That is what he's there to do. He is there to relieve pressure off guys like Anthony Edwards who can focus on the offensive end. And Anthony Edwards struggled during the regular season against this team. He was inefficient. Their length bothered him. I think he averaged 22, 9, and 6, which, by the way, sounds not that bad, but for him and his numbers.
That ain't a struggle, man. I don't know about that.
22, 9, and 6. When SGA's averaging 35, 7, and 7, that is a big time difference.
That don't make it a struggle. That just means SGA was better.
Okay, but that
Lou, we're role
you and
players.
I both will take a 20. All 3 of us will take a 22, 9, and 6.
If Anthony Edwards averages 22, 9, and if he averages 22, 9, and 7 in this series, they will get smacked. He's got to be elite. He has to be better than that than he was in the regular season. And if I'm Anthony Edwards too, all this talk about the MVP, it's him or Jokic. Anthony Edwards isn't even in that conversation. So if I'm him, I have something to prove right now that should be in those talks. I am the one, whether I want to be the face or not, he's made it clear that he doesn't want to be, but
hilarious.
He should be wanting to be talking that same breath, and he should be in that conversation, and he's not. So he has a lot to prove as kind of the underdog in this series.
Yeah, he's electric. Anthony Edwards is super fun to watch. I can't wait to see this matchup. As much as you want to give Anthony Edwards like all the credit, SGA has just been phenomenal all year round. It seems like he hasn't really had any inefficient time during the year. Lou, as you know, going left, Shea going left, pretty much automatic. So I'm going to be real excited to see these two go at it.
By the way, Lou.
I don't know if he looks at himself as the underdog. I think he understands that people perceive them as the underdogs. I don't think they're going into this thing being the underdog. I think they feel like they're an evenly matched team at this point. Once you get to this at this level in the playoffs, everybody feels like they belong there. And who's had more confidence than Minnesota Timberwolves in these playoffs? Look at the rounds that they've won. Like, we didn't expect them to be here, but they have. They've never looked down on themselves or never looked at themselves as an underdog. So I like this matchup. I like both personalities of these teams. Like I said, I'm curious to see what happens, but I don't know if he's going into this thing worried about numbers or anything. You know, we just talked about the depth that these teams have. And, man, he's not going to jump out on – we would love for him to have a 35-7-7. That's just how he hadn't played against this team. He's had his struggles, as Chandler said. He feels like that's a struggle. I'll take it. Personally, I'll take it. But I understand what you're trying to get across when you're saying that he's been struggling. But I don't know if these guys are looking at themselves as an underdog. I think they feel like equals.
But well, if he uses it the way he did, like, oh, the Lakers were supposed to win. You guys all said we had no, if he does that with it, it's great.
Yeah, but that was just simple seeding. And again, from 3 to 8, that was so close.
But it was also people talking a lot of
You were playing against the #1 seed, the #1 team all season long, and you're a 7.5-point underdog in game 1. You are an underdog, whether you like it or not. That's not how you look at it. You are an underdog in a series. When the series shifts back to Minnesota, they will still probably not be favored to win game 3 and 4, depending what the series is. So they are fully underdogs in this series. But
you can be favored to be an underdog. I don't have to carry myself as one.
No, and again, they're in the Western Conference Finals again. They were there last year. They are going in confident. I am just saying it is not breaking news that they are underdogs. Like they are
theoretically and technically, yes. You would be right. By the way, the whole MVP announcement, Lou, SGA is your guy. You've been saying it since before the season even started. We usually have gotten the announcement by now. It's kind of shady and weird that we haven't heard anything. Is it possible SGA is not going to win this thing?
Stop.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there.
I think it's in a bag at this point. I think it's in a bag. I don't know why we haven't had the announcement yet, but I'm cool with the suspense. I'm cool with waiting it out and building up the drama for it. I guess that's a new thing that we're trying. We've been trying a lot of different vibes this year in the league. So let's see what happens. But no, I don't think anything weird's happened with this MVP.
It should be done.
By the way, if Jokic somehow pulls this off, he's going to be so annoyed he's got to come back from Serbia.
So angry.
To get this award.
He's riding horses right now. He's pissed.
He will zoom in for this. He is not coming back.
No, he's not.
No, I'm with you. I think SGA has this in the bag, but also, I wouldn't hate if they waited to the end.
Why? It's a regular season award.
But it should, like, why is it? The MVP should still be playing, and that is SGA, and I think he should win it. And this is what the time that matters the most, right? Everyone talks about playoff basketball. You want to play your best. Well, the MVP should be playing right now then and competing. And again, I know it's a long season. This is just a small sample size. But
so you think they're doing this for timing?
No, but I don't hate if they do this forever now and just wait till the votes for everything till the end of the season.
Okay, but can I push back a little bit? If it's a regular season, because Dirk won it once, and then
and they lost first round.
So what I'm saying is, if it's a regular season award, then it should be rewarded as soon as the regular season ends, because then you avoid the embarrassment of whatever could happen.
Do that, or just don't even do the awards till after the season.
That's still embarrassing.
Everything.
If somebody else they're not going to change.
It is a regular season award. She does bring up good points.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, but I just think again, why does it have to be? Why shouldn't it be throughout the whole finals?
Then you just want to change the whole thing.
I don't know. Do you guys remember those short couple years that we had the NBA awards where it was like an award
actual show?
That was my first red carpet, Lou. Chill.
Really?
We had to wait the entire season and playoffs and championship for those awards to be announced.
Don't love it.
Those years, and so for this is nothing. This is a sample size.
I don't
like the suspense. They're breadcrumbing us. Keeping us coming back.
It's not. But then they're gonna be like, it's SGA, and we'll be like, yeah, we know, and that'll be really dramatic.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. On the other side, he's back. Oh, look at this.
Oh, the fresh beard.
What are we in Hawaii? I love this. Boogie's back next. Puerto Rico.
Run it up, run it back.
Bang, bang, boogie.
I don't really think the Lakers are serious anymore.
It's a whole nother caliber.
Miami, they don't take care of the superstar. Zion, he's good enough to get you fired.
Bang, bang, boogie.
He's back. Are you in Puerto Rico, Boogie?
Yes, I am. I'm in Puerto Rico now.
Exotic
Looks
tree.
lovely.
We are kind of
Good
jealous.
trees right there,
Yeah,
boy.
this is good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, it's a vibe out here, man. I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna live through you for the moment. All
You
right,
point guard.
wait, Lou, you're ready? That's a big news moment for Lou
I
right
can get
there.
ready.
Okay, fair enough.
Dude, you got some good years left, man.
You saying here, point guard?
Yeah.
Get ready. Tell them come get me. I can get ready.
Yeah, you're youthful, dude. You can
You
do
need a
this.
friend?
No, Chandler. Okay, we gotta let's get to what just
all I
everything
got
that's
to
happened.
give.
We have so much to unpack because we have not talked to you in a minute. We're gonna start with the Celtics. That is obviously who everybody had winning this thing before the season even started, and then we saw them go out and the way they went out. So we'll start with your reaction to sort of everything that came to be with the Celtics.
I mean, obviously, it was a surprise to everyone. The biggest thing, it sucks to see Jason Tatum go out, with the Achilles injury, especially this late in the season, which obviously means we won't see him any of next season. But besides that, obviously, I thought, and most people thought this was the best, well put together roster as far as, a starting five, a bench, having a top-notch coach. They checked all markers as far as being a complete team, and it just didn't go the way anybody thought it would this season. So it was a huge surprise to everyone. Shout out to the Knicks. I'm not gonna say they overachieved.
almost
They did what they had to do. I almost did, and I've been catching a lot of heat from these Knicks fans lately with my
So you ain't been on here 3 minutes, Boogie. Here we go.
But shout out to the Knicks. They did what they had to do. They overcame a really, really good team in the Celtics. But it's the great thing about sports. You see dominant teams get taken out, and it's a surprise to everyone. But this is a part of sports, and this is also why you love it.
On the Achilles situation, obviously you went through that yourself, and they made a big deal about the fact that he was immediately here in New York getting the surgery done. They didn't waste any time, hoping that would sort of make the process a little quicker. What do the next many, many months look like for Jason Tatum?
It's a process. It's a long process, and obviously when I did it, technology has advanced a lot since then. So I don't know what this new experience is like. For instance, with Aaron Rodgers, he was able to come back in 6 months. For me, it was a year process. So I don't know. I can't speak on what it is in today's medicine, but for me, it was an extremely long process, physically, mentally. The first 2 months, you're basically laying around in a cast. You can't move at all. I remember in my first month and a half, I wasn't able to actually take a shower. I had to take a bird bath for the most part because I couldn't risk getting my cut infected. So I had to take a lot of bird baths for the first month and a half. So it was a lot of things that you wouldn't expect that would, bother you in that process. For instance, just taking a bath,
Yeah.
So Jason has an uphill battle on the way. I think he's definitely going to overcome it. I think he'll be better when he gets back. But it is mentally draining and physically draining as well. So I wish him the best. I'm sending good energy and prayers his way. But he definitely has a challenge on the rise.
Yeah, you kind of just touched on it, but that's what I was going to ask you. As someone that's been through this, is this something, obviously the Celtics, they have a lot of decisions to make this summer. There's a lot of, financial decisions to make this summer, but is this something that you worry about Tatum coming back as the same player or better than he was before? You just said he's got a long process and stuff, but is this something that you worry about, him not being the same?
I'm not worried. Like I said, technology has advanced so much since the time I've done it. We've also seen a guy come back and be just as good in Kevin Durant. I feel Tatum's that same mode of player. And obviously it's different for me. I was a big man. These guys are wings and guards. So, the body type is different. The body mass is different. Obviously I weigh a lot more than a Jason Tatum or a Kevin Durant. So it was a different type situation for me. It also matters in, you know, which leg. Is it his dominant leg or, you know, is it his off leg? For me, it was my dominant leg. So it played a bigger part, you know, in me moving forward and coming back and being the same type player. If it is his opposite leg, it's a great chance he can come back and still be dominant. So a lot of things kind of going into play when it comes to this injury. But overall, I think he does have a great chance of coming back. And on top of it, he's still young. He's very young. So he still has youth on his youth on his side. So I expect him to come back and still be just as great as he was before.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, there's a lot of payroll decisions that they're going to have, this new ownership's going to have. Are any of those guys now untouchable? Is everything on the table? Because it seems like they're going to might lose one or two of those guys. Tatum, obviously, not going to be one of them, and I would imagine Jaylen Brown comes back. So of those other three guys that make a lot of money, who's the odd man out?
I think they'll start considering age at this point. Who are the older guys on the roster? You know, I think they have to reconstruct this roster, obviously. You have older guys like Al Horford, older guys like Drew Holiday, Porzingis. So those guys will obviously be the first options when it comes to, you know, coming off of contracts. But I think the two untouchables are Jaylen Brown and Tatum. So I do expect those guys to be back, but as far as everything else, I do think they'll be adding and removing pieces to this team moving forward.
Yeah, Boogie, first time since 2000. On the flip side, the Knicks, they make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Give me your opinion on that. What you laughing at? Come on, man. Don't do this to me, man. Look,
every time I speak on the Knicks, man, I get so much heat. So I'm ready to hear this question. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
No, I just want to ask, how impressed were you the way that they won won that series? Like that was very convincing. They handled business. Yeah.
It was very impressive. Obviously, they're being led by Brunson, who's been playing incredible. Cat has been playing incredible. I mean, as a team, they play incredible. The chemistry is there. It dates all the way back to the Villanova days, so I'm sure that plays a huge part in it. We've all been very critical of Tibbs and the way he coaches with the short lineups. It finally worked in their favor. It's still TBD to see if it can get them over the hump as far as making it to the finals. But they did a great job of, you know, doing what they had to do to overcome this Celtics team. And, I mean, you can't knock them for it. It's not really much you can say outside of they just flat out outplayed the Celtics. They out-toughed them, they outplayed them, outsmarted them, outgritted them. They did everything they did everything necessary to be the team to come out of this series and show.
Yesterday we was having the Jalen Brunson conversation. I want you to tap in on this. Best Knicks ever conversation. We were throwing out the likes of the Willis Reeds of the world, Clyde Frazier's, the Patrick Ewings. But in 3 years, he's accomplished
come on now.
A lot. Where
ready.
are you in this conversation?
What are you doing? What are you doing over there? You woosah?
Mentally preparing.
That's a little woosah. You see him, Chandler? That's a little.
Hell no, he's not the greatest Knick all time.
Fair enough.
Oh no.
No.
When it's all said and done.
If he wins the championship.
If he wins the
If
championship.
he wins the championship, it's a different conversation.
Okay.
But
He's in the conversation already. Can we agree there?
We're having
I think he's in the conversation as one of the greatest Knicks. Say he is the greatest Knick that's a different thing. He's definitely in the conversation.
That come with hardware, yes, sir.
The fact that he's in the conversation in his third year, though, is ridiculous.
It's pretty amazing. It's amazing.
It is amazing, and credit to him. I think he's an incredible player. I know for a fact his jersey will be in the rafters. If he stopped playing right now, his jersey will go up in the rafters as one of the greatest Knicks.
Oh,
but he still has some work to do. For me, a championship would definitely put him in a different stratosphere. But I just can't say right now he's the greatest Knick. He has some work to do, but a championship definitely helps.
But with that, we had another big debate yesterday. We were saying, with seeing how everything is going, would you rather have a Luka right now, or would you rather have a Jalen Brunson right now?
I'm gonna take Jalen Brunson because he's still playing. I mean, that's obvious.
So excited.
There you go.
One guy's at
There you
home
go.
and one guy's playing. So
Look like
I'm gonna
3
take
2. Look at
Brunson.
look at George's face. Look at Chandler's face.
I'm not rolling.
I love it.
Boogie, come on.
Boogie, you've never been
Come
right
on.
about anything.
Luka
I'm with you,
Life.
Boogie. I'm sorry. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
We're
You know,
arguing-
these
we're
things-
He
arguing
makes
about-
everyone better.
things change
Everyone.
year to
Jokic is home too right now. He's
changes
still the
year to
best player
year.
in the world, Boogie. Like it doesn't matter that he's not playing right now.
Boogie's right.
It's
Well, I'm
okay.
gonna take the
It's
guy
okay.
that's still playing. I mean,
And makes
the
everybody
guy at
better.
home can't help me right now.
Thank you, Chandler. These things, it's okay for these things to change year to year, Chandler. It's okay for them to change year to year.
Now we're not
You have
talking
your
about who's
opinion, I
the
got
best
mine.
overall talent. If we're talking about who's the best overall talent, yeah, we can go with Luka. But as of right now, I'm gonna take the guy that's still active in the playoffs.
Sometimes talent isn't everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what you do with what you have, and I think Jalen maximizes every ounce of
He
what
does.
he has.
He's great.
And I don't know that Luka does. I think this is a real conversation.
Yeah.
But
Well-
Chandler's in love with Luka, and we can never get past
I just think one's a top 3 player, one's a top 15 player.
that. I'm told that one's a top 3 player. I don't know that he's a top 3 player.
I can agree with that. I agree with that point you're making, Chandler. But if we're talking about right now in the moment, one guy's at home and one guy's in the conference finals.
Well, there's
So,
one
I
guy
don't know
that
if I'm rolling with top 15 though. That's a stretch, but
What, top 10? You're not putting him top 5.
Oh, we're doing this now? We're doing the
You would
I ain't
not
gonna do
rank
that.
Jalen Brunson right
you know
now
what?
over
You
Luka.
right, Beadle.
You
I'm
would
not.
not.
gonna suck him- I'm not going to let him suck me into a numbers
Don't do
game.
it. Yeah, whoa.
But let me
yeah.
ask you a question.
do
If
it.
Jalen Brunson wins a
Numbers.
championship this year, does the conversation change?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
championships, yes, I think that helps everyone's
You know
case.
what? Then let's just wait. We'll give it a couple weeks. We'll come back and we'll revisit this entire
So if
comment.
championships have everyone's case, the guy that's still qualified to go get one, why doesn't that help his case?
Because it doesn't just go off this postseason run. Literally.
Yeah, it's
not like-
resumes,
I
isn't
can't
it?
just put. So I'm going to put someone over Giannis right now too, or Jokic, because they're not
No,
playing
I think
right now. That's
I
silly.
think it changes the year to year. If we had this conversation 5-6 years ago, we'd probably be
definitely
talking about
changes year to
LeBron or KD or somebody. It changes year to year. We're talking about right now.
I love this.
Right now in the pool, yeah, sure, because Luka's not in the, I'm saying if right now you rank players going into next season, you're not ranking Jalen Brunson over Luka. You're
I am.
not. No, you're not.
I am 100%.
Nobody is.
1,000%.
If Jalen
My name's
Brunson
Michelle,
wins a
I'm doing it.
championship this year, going into next season, I'm ranking Jalen Brunson over Luka.
What if he just goes to the finals? I mean, they've done a lot.
Okay, what if Tyrese Halliburton beats Jalen Brunson? Now how are you
See,
ranking
Here we
it?
then
go.
you're taking Halliburton because he's still playing.
Hey, look at him. We got a reaction
you're not.
out of him. There we go.
Well said, Georgie.
That was a good one.
George is back.
That's a good one. But
I'm
no,
stumped.
that's two different calibers of player. No.
Lou, Timberwolves beat the Thunder. You're taking Ann over your guy SGA because he's
We
playing.
ain't do it all. Look,
That's what you're doing.
George already got your one good one out already. I ain't do it. George already got it.
Yeah, we can go all day with this.
We're going to preview the Knicks Pacers series. Obviously, you know how I feel about this. I have the Pacers. Who do you have?
I'm gonna have to agree with you
Wow.
on the Pacers, and the reason I say that, I think the full court pressure that they bring every game will eventually wear on Jalen Brunson, and the fact that Tibbs has such a short lineup, I think it plays a huge impact in this series. I think the Knicks are a very tough team. Obviously, they have a great chemistry, but eventually I feel they'll wear down with the Pacers' pressure.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. I'm Pacers all day. But before we move on to the Western Conference, what do you think the Cavaliers are going to do this offseason? I know what they did the trade deadline, but what do you think they're gonna do this offseason?
I lost interest ever since they traded my guy.
Everything stopped mattering.
Lou, stop laughing. I'm crying.
All
inside.
downhill since G-Wagon moved.
It was a karma switch, it felt like.
G, are you a free agent real quick? Are you a free
No,
agent?
no, I got one more year on my deal. Can we talk
Okay.
about this stuff? Or we're going to get in trouble.
No, that's fact. We can look that up.
Let's unpack
No,
that.
that's fact.
Yeah.
That's fact. You're not in trouble.
I mean, if I'm Cleveland, I think they should stay the same. You know, they had one good year with a really good squad, so I think you should run it back. Another year of experience can only, better that team. So, my opinion, I think they should just run it back.
Yeah, I agree too.
Yeah,
I
thinking
mean,
about it?
it's not like they need to go into a panic mode. They still have the number one
Exactly.
team, and they're still coming back. They're still everything. They just
Okay, but can I say one thing?
Yeah, a little
Be
I do,
a
think
negative
they
person?
should, I do think they should add one
There
more
we go.
good big man. I don't think Jared Allen is the ultimate answer as far as winning a championship as a big. So I do think they need to, add an additional big that can bring an impact to the game. But as far as, any major changes, I don't think they should do any. I think they have a really, really solid squad. And I think experience is, the only thing they're lacking as far as being a team. I think, another year together, they'll continue to improve.
Oof, I don't know. I feel like if you run them back exactly as is and you have another great regular season, if I'm a fan, I'm just like sitting there waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, we're going to do the exact same thing.
I think if they're healthy, we're having a completely different conversation. But that's another if, George. So we got to get our shot glasses out.
Yeah.
But I think if Garland is not battling with his toe, and Mitchell not battling with his ankle issues, I think we're having a completely different conversation. You can see they didn't have the lift, they didn't have the explosiveness that they need, especially with the style of play that they have. They just didn't have that lift that they needed.
And DeAndre Hunter was out. And Evan Mobley was out. They definitely got the injury bug.
Yeah, no, a lot of people were out on that one.
Sorry, George.
Sorry, George. Warriors, you know what? Let's talk about another team that's going to have to maybe answer some questions, whether or not they want to keep things as is, switch things up. They brought Jimmy Butler in at the trade deadline. They managed to put some good stuff together. It just wasn't enough. The Steph Curry injury was obviously a big part of that. If you're the Warriors, do you think this is good? You run this back? What are you adding? What are you taking away?
Man, the Warriors is such a weird situation to me. And the biggest reason is, they don't have youth on their side. Like, it seems like this window has been closing year by year for this, this team and the foundation that they have. Obviously adding a Kevin Durant type guy would be great for them, and I think that would, put them in the conversation of being a dominant team in the West. So, but it's outside of that, I don't really see a fit there that gets them over the hump. I've seen the rumors of Giannis being a possible addition. I think that would change them greatly, but I don't really see that happening. I don't see Giannis going out to West. He's already said that he wants to go to a tax-free state. So obviously Cali is one of the highest. That's not an option. San Francisco is one of the most expensive cities to live in. That doesn't really add up. So they should send a nice gift basket to Kevin Durant.
That's so nice.
So, Boogie, when you see a guy like Steph Curry go out, their whole team obviously changes. Jimmy's supposed to be the guy, the closer. You got a Kuminga, who was their third leading scorer, averages 15. He gets 4, DMP CDs in a row, and then he's balling when Steph Curry goes out. Do you think Kerr made the right adjustments once Curry went out? You think they just simply didn't have enough? Do you think it was fair that Kuminga wasn't getting those minutes? What's your kind of take on that situation?
I think they lost Kuminga. I think Steve Kerr ruined that relationship with the DNPs. We've seen this happen time and time again when it comes to him and dealing with young talent. He just doesn't handle young talent well. He doesn't develop young. Out of the years he's been there, we've seen one guy develop under Steve Kerr, and they ran him off as well, and that was Jordan Poole. So when it comes to young talent, I just don't think they handle it well. And I could see Kuminga being on the move.
Yeah.
Boogie, as you saw, the Nuggets punched their ticket into the offseason, taking that series to 7 games. What do you think the Nuggets need to do to kind of take full advantage of Jokic's so-called prime?
Well, one, that owner needs to spend some money. You got to spend and win. That's obvious. And I think they have to get a bench. I don't think I think they have to move their focus on making sure Jokic puts up these crazy numbers and leads all statistical category. Like, we understand Jokic is great. We get it now. Like, now let's put some real talent around the guy. Let's put a bench around the guy. Let's put a real supporting cast around him. Outside of the starting 5, they don't really get much. So I think Russ did an incredible job this year with, being that spark off the bench, but I think they need more bench support. I think that should be their main goal going into this offseason.
Boogie, give me your feelings about this T-Wolves OKC matchup going into this Western Conference Finals. How you feel about SGA and Ant-Man going head to head in this one?
I think it's going to be really, really exciting. I think this is great for the NBA. I think it's great for the sport, great for the fans. I think this would be a historical, playoff series. I do feel like OKC is coming out of this series. They just have so much depth, so much talent. Defensively, they're incredible. Their starting five is incredible defensively. The bench comes in, they're incredible defensively. And on top of that, they can come in and play off. Their offense is off the charts as well. So I think OKC they're loaded, man. I think it's their year. In the beginning of the year, I thought it was Boston. By the end of the season, I thought it was OKC. So I think it's OKC's year.
What a world.
Boogie, a lot of off-season topics, as always, this summer going in. Giannis is a big name that you keep hearing might be on the move as well. If you're him, is it a Damian Lillard in Portland situation where you finally request a trade? Do you think there's enough there to keep competing? What's your take on this?
I thought he did.
I think this is a year. And the fact that he's starting to, slowly put out, the certain type things he's looking for with his next team. For example, like saying, I don't want to play in the state with a state tax. We've never heard these type of things from Giannis before. So I can definitely see a breakup on the horizon. And I think it's time. I think Giannis and the Bucks have, ran their course. I think he's given them everything he can. And I think it's time for him to start thinking about himself in this situation. It's time for him to be selfish with his career. I would love to see Giannis in Miami, honestly. I think that would.
See? Nobody tried to hear me yesterday. Nobody wanted to listen to me yesterday.
I think that's the perfect move. It'll definitely help Miami with them struggling to get a superstar after how the breakup went with Jimmy Butler. It makes sense. He's already said he wants to play in a tax-free state, which is Florida. So it makes sense. It makes complete sense. It's an organization that's proven they know how to build around a superstar. It'll definitely put a better light on Pat Riley with how I went with, Jimmy Butler to get another superstar like Giannis. So it makes sense, in my opinion.
I just don't know if they have enough to acquire him like a Houston does, like a San Antonio does, even a Golden State. That would be the only issue there. But
yeah, Boogie, you didn't mention the other tax-free state, the big one that's got some stuff going on.
Old Tejas?
Want to bring up any of that? Or?
Yeah,
speaking of tax-free states,
speaking
Boogie,
of tax-free things.
Yeah,
we haven't spoke since the Mavs won the lottery, man. Give me something good. What you think about that?
And I said from the beginning, man, this was a move from up top. And, it's continuing the show. I never in a million years thought, Nico had the nuts to sit there and make this move on his own.
There was something on the back burner, though, huh?
This was a move from the top, and it's showing.
My boy needed a break. He needed a break. He needed a good break, man.
But then Shaq had to come out and say that David Stern sent him somewhere hot.
Do you want to go somewhere warm or cold?
Now it's all starting to make sense.
Yeah, it's starting to make sense.
But does Nico keep that pick? Does he keep that pick or what? What you think?
Okay, you can package that. PJ, some other guys, Gafford to Milwaukee.
Cooper's the unknown, technically.
Now we got Giannis back in play.
So you,
done.
I mean,
this is a Price is Right moment.
Kevin Durant wouldn't be a bad move there either with that #1 pick. So,
but would you would get rid of a young Cooper Flag for Kevin Durant? No, because Giannis I get because he's young.
Nico's already on record saying it's a 3-year window as far as winning the championship.
True, he
so
did.
Cooper Flag doesn't fit that window.
No,
Kevin Durant does. So I absolutely think he'll trade that #1 pick. I think that's an option for him.
Is there a world that he keeps the pick, Boogie, and doesn't take him #1?
Take somebody else.
Ace Bailey is. Hey, listen, Ace Bailey getting hot.
I like
again.
Ace Bailey. To me, Ace Bailey is the #1 pick.
Well, that's the take we should have started with.
Chandler's getting offended.
I think
Here we
Ace
go.
Bailey's the #1 pick. I think he's the closest thing we've seen to a Tracy McGrady.
Whoa.
But I don't see Nico. There's no way he keeps that pick.
I love Harper too. Harper's a stud.
You don't
too.
think he keeps? So wow. Okay.
I think he keeps
With
it.
everything he's already said on record as far as his window of winning a championship,
Defense.
it just doesn't logically make sense.
I don't think it's not even his window no more.
You're in Texas. You already got rid of one Great White Hope. You can't get rid of the next.
There it is.
You can't.
The Whacks.
He said it.
He said it.
We were all thinking it. You can't
was
do
Chandler
it.
Parsons,
You
ladies
can't
and
do it again, Boog.
Just saying the stupid stuff out loud.
Well,
Boogie.
we've seen crazier things, so it's a
I'm
great
excited.
chance.
Just take him. Keep it. Save your job.
I don't think so. Okay, Boogie. Love you, miss you. We will talk soon.
Appreciate
and
it, bud.
We'll be back with some more Run It Back.
Thing, man.
See you guys, yes.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, yeah.
All right, you buying that, George? I'm gonna start with you on this one. Brian Windhorst, shout out, P.S. Love you, Windy. You didn't deserve that.
Stay safe
Didn't
in the
deserve
streets,
that.
Windy.
He says that they should make a move, the Cavs should, for Giannis if they have that opportunity. So that would mean maybe perhaps giving up Mobley. What do you think?
I don't know. I was over there, and the way that they view Evan Mobley over there, I don't think that is would be something that the Cavaliers would be interested in.
Even for Giannis.
Well, I think that they see Evan Mobley as someone who's like a younger version of that, and if he could grow into that and be somewhat scratch the surface and just as good, yeah, I don't see them making that. I'm not buying that. Giannis is an amazing player, super talented, can help you win now. I just don't see the Cavs trading a 23-year-old Evan Mobley. I think they're tapping. They gave him the ball a little more. They gave him a little more responsibility.
What?
Is he that young?
He's a baby.
He's a stud.
He's a baby.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Does that make you rethink it, Lou? What you thinking?
What happened now?
No, I don't think they should do it regardless, but
Oh.
they definitely should now that he's 23. But yeah,
Yeah.
Listen, the Western Conference is stacked. The Eastern Conference now at the Celtics, the predicament they're in, everything that's going on. The Cavaliers are in great shape, just running it back with this same squad last year. They obviously just had the coach of the year in Kenny. They're another year of chemistry. We just talked about the injury bug that they have. So again, I don't think this is a panic blow up.
But if you can add Giannis,
I
mean,
think
we're
they
talking about
have
Giannis
enough.
for everybody
Yeah,
else.
but George just said they value Mobley more than him with 23.
Have like 7 years of what Evan Mobley could be till he's 30. What does that look
Okay,
like?
but that's a huge what if, what he could be.
Here we go with the ifs again.
I'm just
Lou.
saying, like,
It's all what if.
guys,
that was my shot.
there are only there's like a handful of players that you're like, if you have the opportunity to add them to your roster, you have to really stop for a second and consider, no matter how much you are in love with what you have.
I'm not ready to tweak this roster yet. I think I go back and I think I'm the number one team again next year, and I think our playoff failures and experience, finally we get over that hump and we're in
What
great
makes you
shape
think you're
next
going to
year.
get over that hump?
Health, experience, I don't know, but
That's the only thing
I
that
like my
deterred them.
roster, yeah.
I feel like you're wrong with
Himself.
these a lot, so I don't know if I want to take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lou. Lonzo Ball predicts that LaMelo could be traded to the Clippers after the draft once the Hornets take another point guard. Are you buying that? That's a prediction.
I'm buying that. I can see the Clippers making a play for a premier point guard. I know they've been in the market for one. They've been trying to figure out what they're going to do at that position, and that's one of the things that's gonna help them. You know, if you can slide James Harden back over to the 2 and kind of give them that balance where you kind of put him in a position to start being a scoring guard again, opposed to the facilitator that he's turned into with the Clippers, they may be able to help them. And on the other side of it with Charlotte, if they draft another point guard, they're showing you their hand. They're showing you that they're possibly going to move in a different direction depending on where they draft that point guard in this draft. You know, so I can see that the Clippers could make a play for LaMelo Ball and him being able to go home and do something special at the crib.
Yeah, and they have the 4th pick, right? So they're not getting Dylan Harper. So I don't think there's a point guard in this draft that's going to help you as much as LaMelo Ball right away. So there's guys like Edgecombe, I think is more of a 2. Fears is a point guard, but LaMelo Ball is value. I would love to see him on the Clippers, honestly. I think that's exactly what he needs. I think he's a big market type of player. He's from here. I think it would be great, but unless you're getting Dylan Harper, I don't see another point guard that you can build around that's better than LaMelo Ball right now.
All right, but how many years left do you have of chasing it once you get LaMelo Ball?
Yeah, and I think that
Well, you don't have one, you're going to chase it forever. You like that's
Talking from experience.
And and I'm not even being funny. Like, I'm dead serious. They're gonna chase,
Fair.
and Bomber is always gonna try his best to put that team in a position to win. We just talked about it. You got to spin to win. He has no problem in doing that if that gives him a chance to put a banner up in the Intuit Dome. So they're always gonna chase until they
So
get
forever is your answer on that one, George.
Yeah. Thanks, Lou.
No.
Insider information.
Forever. Taking a quick break, wrapping things up on the other side. Forever. You don't have it. I know we touched on this with Boogie, guys, but the whole Shaq thing where, before he was drafted #1 to Orlando, he said that David Stern said, hey, do you want to go somewhere warm? You want to go somewhere cold? He said warm, boom, Orlando happened. I can't imagine that this is happening right now. Charlotte and Minnesota got 2 and 3. The league cannot be happy about this. You got LeBron saying it's a conspiracy. Like, somebody's going to get a call, right?
I just hate that I believe him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's true, and I think there's a lot. Even the Wemby going to San Antonio just made too good of sense for that not to happen. So, like, again, I could see the Cooper flag to Utah, and then what's even more interesting about him going to Dallas is they gave the other good teams the 2nd and 3rd pick too, so they can't even be mad either because they're getting a good player. So, I just wish they would show it on TV or like make it more. Transparent for us to see, so it just kind of eliminates this. Don't do it in that little weird room with no cameras. Like, do it right on. Do it as the draft goes.
You are our conspiracy theorist on.
Yeah, do it as the draft goes.
Do we really care? Like, we've enjoyed what we've gotten out of it so far. We got D-Rose in Chicago. We got LeBron in Cleveland.
Yeah,
we got
to Cleveland.
Shaq in Orlando.
Yeah.
We have this now. We have this new story with Dallas, and now they have the #1 pick, so they get a bit of good news. Do we really care?
Yeah, this is
man.
entertainment, man. Come on.
You've named 5 teams, so if you're a fan of those teams, like I'm a fan of one of the teams that has benefited. Of course, I don't care. But now ask the other.
Yeah, if I'm Utah right now, if I'm livid. I've never got it. The highest pick I've ever got is the 3rd pick. Like, if I'm Charlotte or if I'm DC, again, these teams that just can't catch a break.
But you know what? You need to look at yourselves.
And then they still can't get the #1 pick in a year right now where they're supposed to be the next great thing. Like,
so stop tanking.
That hurts.
Stop tanking. That's the whole point.
I mean, we didn't. But again, we didn't make this case for Atlanta. Like,
well, there wasn't like a Cooper flag in that draft last year.
But it's still the #1 pick.
It's just a bad year to get it, though.
Yeah. No, Zachary Richeche is freaking awesome.
There you go, George. Get in there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
shut your mouth, George.
And he could be good. I'm just saying he's not a for sure thing. He's not a Wemby. He's not as Anthony Davis. Not a LeBron. Like, you know what I mean? He's not that.
I also don't think that we should be rewarding tanking teams because you're just going to send a good player there who's going to just languish for 3 years and his career is going to get wasted right off the top because these organizations aren't doing anything in the first place. So y'all need to look at yourselves and figure that out.
Yeah.
Spend money, be better, have a foundation, boom, done. Then we can talk about Charlotte again. Like.
Michelle Windhorst over there. Not gonna happen.
Like, yes.
Are those not the greatest jerseys, though?
I mean, I do actually love those.
Those are so good.
Look at him. Young Shaq. Yeah, all right, we'll be back tomorrow. George will be back tomorrow. We'll get you a new computer, you a computer. And Lou in studio. We miss you, buddy.
I'll see you this week.
Oh,
Put it like that. See you this week.
What the heck is that spoiler?
We'll see you Zoom tomorrow.
You know what? Bye.
They run it back, yeah.